What is going on, guys? So this week I didn't get out here as much as I typically had over the last couple weeks, so kind of more picking up where we left off in the last one. I did have an afternoon. My daughter came down. She helped me get this seat in. It's doable with one person, but it's just easier, especially once you have some painted surfaces, to get it up over there and get it into position. So we got the seat in, we got the middle parts of the seat belts in, so now we've got to get these in. Now, when I replaced a bunch of the floorboards, I cut out the part where the nut is basically welded right onto the floor. So I went and picked up these. We are going to reuse the original bolts, just cleaned them up a bit. And then these are 1/2 inch with a 13 thread pitch, I believe. Yes. So that's what we're going to do there. Just bolt these in, and those are going to be good to go. Now, because this isn't welded directly to the thing or to the floor, probably should have done this anyway, but you want to get these thick fender washers, and not just fender washers, but the thick ones, so that you disperse a little bit more of that surface area. Should something happen and you get in a crash or something along those lines, fender bender, you want to make sure that this isn't something you're skimping on, and not something that you're, oh, it'll hold. Yeah, you don't want that. So we're going to get these bolted in, and then we're going to get started on headlights. So obviously with the seat, it's not in the greatest of conditions. And that's okay, because it's not going to stay that way forever. Over the winter, we're going to pull the seat back out, recover it, get some new foam on it, and do that. Nothing too fancy, probably just a aftermarket vinyl with that. I'm not going to take it to like an upholstery shop and spend $2-3 grand on it. It's just going to be something, a few $100, get it freshened up, get it looking nice. Yeah, I mean, nothing too fancy there. So let's get these bolted in here. Oh, for the fender washers, I don't know if you saw this earlier, but it doesn't fit perfectly with the rear cab mount, so I just flattened that out. That'll go up against the cab mount and bolt it on. All right, so we're gonna get the headlight mounting buckets in. Buckets, I believe, is the word that we're calling for them. So the headlights sit in there. These bolt on here, and then they're aiming. Now to do this, if you're like me and you got the new core support, it doesn't come with any of the hardware that you need. So unless you're reusing anything, you're gonna need this. So I think I got this from LMC Truck. See if you can see that. So this comes with, for both sides, the 2 adjusting screws, these little plastic threaded nuts. I don't even think they're threaded, actually. They're not. How about that? Anyway, those go in there. 1, 2, and you've got your spring. Now this has a little pocket you can see right here. Let's see, and let me get this closer. It has this little recess. So this is gonna sit just like that. Let's get that in there. Now for the bucket, you've got these tabs. That's where the adjusting screws are gonna go. So those have a little groove in them. It's gonna go like that, and then where is it? And then that, it basically just hooks onto here. So like so. All right, so we have our lights here, and we need to determine which one is going to be high beam, low beam, and ground, because we have the triple plug here. There's no directions that came with these, which is fine. So brown, I believe, is typically going to be like a high beam. So let's take a gamble here. What I made up, just some wiring with an alligator clip, and then one of these little spades. And then on your battery, for like, mine's a Makita 18 volt, what you can do is, if you look on here, it says plus and negative. You can just slide the spade right in there and then clip that on your lead, and that's going to tell you what you need to know. Obviously you got to ground it as well, so we made a ground one here. So let's just pretend yellow is ground based on this type of connector. That should be right. And let's try blue. Obviously you don't want those touching, because that will send sparks once you connect to your battery, so you don't want that. Okay, so let's see what we get here. We can actually take these out of the connector, since we're not going to use this connector anyway. Leave that in there for now. Alright, let's try that again. So we're going to go here. There. What did we say? Blue? Let's try blue. There you go. Let's try that on brown. That's going to be our high beam. It's just like that. It's a good way to test. You can also use a power probe or something like that, but those are kind of pricey. This is pretty easy. Okay, so the reason we're doing this, we have a nice waterproof housing, but we don't have waterproof connectors. So we're going to splice in these, which I'll link in the description. Nice waterproof 3-wire connectors. Go down. Go up. Yeah, it's frustrating. Okay.
Was it ketchup? No.
Oh. All right, well, we got a lot done today. This is exactly what I wanted to accomplish for today, so I'm excited about that. Look at it. Still a lot of work to do to finish it up, but seeing it back together like this, I don't know, something else. So, a little bit more to do in regards to getting this thing back on the road, like I said. I'll give you an idea here. So we've got all the wiring on the front in terms of the lights and everything. Figure out the fans, which I think I have figured out. I mixed up 2 wires in the relays, so that should be totally fine in terms of the PCM. We got to finish bleeding the coolant. You can read though. Little stuff. Realistically, I'm thinking sometime during this week we'll be on the road. So I could not be happier. Thank you again to my dad for helping with that. It's kind of fun to see it all come full circle. If you watched my very first video, that was only a couple days after I bought the truck. He helped me cut the thing in half. So, and the whole reason I even make videos is because he, at the time, was working construction and he would go wherever the job was. He was living in Florida for a few years. So I was doing those really just to kind of keep him in the loop with what was going on. It turned into something a little bit more than that in terms of how this channel is and run. But so to see him, again, full circle, kind of come back and help with this portion of it was fun. The fact he is retired now, so he can help quite a bit more and be a part of it because I know he wants to. But that's fun. Anyway, guys, one more look at it. Getting closer. See you guys later. Thanks.